So there's been lots of protests in Minnesota against ICE. And there are people trying to, they're protesting ICE and stuff like that. And Donald Trump basically says we should let ICE do their job, even though how they are doing their job is not entirely legal. Going door to door, demanding papers, shooting civilians for just trying to leave the area. A whole bunch of things that they are doing that is not part of ICE duties. But Donald Trump thinks we should just leave them alone. And he's talking about invoking the Insurrection Act to help the situation, or to allow ICE to do what they're trying to do. Now, if he does, that would most likely be challenged in court, because he can't call something an insurrection, or say it is disrupting safety and things like that without some level of proof. And protesting on its own is not enough, especially when the people agitating everything are the ICE agents, which are federal employees. So I don't know how that would play out in court. But we've used the Insurrection Act numerous times over our history. The last time was under George H.W. Bush with the LA riots over the Rodney King death, and the protests there. And we are nowhere near the level of riot violence, etc., that was used then. So I don't know how successful he would be trying to use the Insurrection Act to go after the people of Minnesota. I think that would actually just make things worse. But knowing Donald Trump, he always screws up. So this is probably going to be the path he goes down. But he has been likening a lot of the things that have been going on, all of the protests and stuff. He's been talking about insurrection almost the entire time he has been president. In fact, the Republican Party itself has been trying to call varying things insurrections when they weren't. They tried to call what they call the southern border crisis an insurrection when it's not. You can't, when there was no evidence that they were trying to overthrow the government and things like that. This is just an attempt from Donald Trump to try to threaten and scare people into backing down, because he sees how bad the protests are going against him. And he knows the tide of public opinion is turning against Donald Trump and this administration. And he's worried about what's going to happen with the midterms. And the midterms could bring Donald Trump a third impeachment and potential removal from office. So he's threatening the Insurrection Act. I don't think it's going to work. And I'm not surprised that this is his go-to, because he doesn't have any other strategies.